Honestly, almost a century ago, fighting ceased in World War I when an armistice for the Great War went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, and the war to end all wars was over. It is that date which motivated President Wilson to proclaim November 11th as Armistice Day, a day set aside to honor veterans of World War I. But in 1954, after World War II had required the greatest mobilization of military in our nation's history, and after American forces had fought aggression in Korea, Congress struck out the word armistice and inserted in its place the word veteran. Since that day, November 11th became a day of honor for American veterans of all wars. It's very humbling to stand here in this spot, looking at what has been erected all around me, and to feel the presence of all of those individuals who have served, who have passed, and who have honored this area. Distinguished colleagues, honored guests, fellow Americans, what a privilege it is to wear this uniform, and what an honor it is to speak with each of you on this noblest of occasions. The actions of these veterans, these patriots, we are here to honor are far more eloquent than any words I can dream of offering. But bear with me as I attempt to honor their courage, their sacrifice, and their unyielding patriotism. Greater love hath no man than he shall lay down his life for another. And greater love hath no American than those veterans who daily are willing to lay down their lives for our freedom. In 1776, our forefathers placed their lives on the line for the birth of a nation and a democratic ideal. Our founding fathers sacrificed everything, their lives, their families' lives, to secure the blessings of liberty to themselves and their posterity, to ordain and establish the Constitution of these United States of America. Still, many more veterans wantonly offered their lives during the Civil War for the continued unification of a great nation on both sides of the Mississippi, despite their differing views. And we came together under the ultimate sacrifice of our own president. We thank you, Mr. Lincoln. Thanks to you, Mr. President, these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God had a new birth of freedom and a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and it shall not perish from this earth. In the 20th century, we never fought a war on the soil here in the continental United States. Each of you fought every conflict for the security of democracy for the world, knowing that to protect our freedom at home, we needed to promote our freedom and the world's freedom throughout the world. Not because we could, but because it was the right and noble thing to do. Since the turn of the millennium, we have expanded our sacrifice to secure not only democracy, but to assure good governance in every corner of the world. A noble, lengthy, and costly venture. We do not span the globe to establish our type of government on other nations. Instead, we brave the harshest environments to ensure that human beings are treated humanely, assuring good governance. Again, we do so not because we can. We do so because it is the decent thing to do. We do so because it is a humane thing to do. We do so because it is the human thing to do. We forge forward in victory against an enemy that is evil, but is effective, deadly, and despicable. And how do you define victory against such a cowardly organization that targets the weak, the frail, the innocent, with no planned outcome other than to instill fear? You do so boldly, with no mental reservation or purpose of evasion, words spoken by every single veteran of this country. You see, this is a cowardly, despicable organization that sacrifices its own beliefs to serve its own selfish goals. Yet we must fight. We must sacrifice blood and treasure if we are to secure our freedom and protect our nation. As Dr. Martin Luther King so eloquently stated, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. But this is hardly a different calling than any other veteran of any generation has acted upon. I'm truly humbled to see before me veterans of every generation. Fierce in battle as you are gentle in friendship. Some of you were drafted, but all of you served. And you served with distinction, and you served with honor. The bravest of us all paying the ultimate sacrifice for their nation and for our freedom. And as a veteran, you are the faces of freedom, defenders of liberty, and the ambassadors of hope. You are held in the highest of regards by this grateful nation, by the entire world. So unique is what you have done. You did not perform a service. You did not have a job. You did not have a profession. You each had a calling to serve your country in a desperate time in her history. Germany, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, the Cold War, Iraq, Afghanistan, and many more known and even more unknown operations everywhere liberty was threatened. Each of you sacrificed for your family. Each of you sacrificed your family. You sacrificed your country, and you sacrificed for your beliefs. And to those who have served, and to those who are still serving, this nation, this president, has set aside this day to honor you. To the Americans, this day is an opportunity to have an extra day off, an opportunity to spend time with their families. It is the marking of the arrival of the holidays, a celebration of family time and family merriment. Many will brave the dangers and expenses of traveling great distance to be with their families. These Americans have that opportunity because each of you have traveled great distances and braved great dangers of every conceivable weapon to secure that freedom. These same Americans may even speak out in protest to your veteran duties. They may blight our leaders and even curse our duties abroad. I welcome their protest. You see, I welcome their protest because they have that right. They have that right to shout at the top of their voice the condemnation of your noble actions. I welcome their protest because with every condemning word, with every protest they proclaim, these Americans reassure each and every brave veteran of a job well done. Especially so those who have paid the ultimate price, so that these Americans can protest freely. This nation was not born from the sacrifices of one individual. Rather, it is the sum of every veteran. Every sacrifice and every life lost in every battle has brought forth this nation. But make no mistake, though I speak of individual sacrifices, this is not a singularity that makes us great. Man, woman, every race, every religion, that is what makes us unique. It is our commonality, forged in the fire of diversity, that makes us each, and as a whole, singularly distinctive. When there is no limit to our veterans' courage, there is no limit to our nation's greatness. My departed grandfather, a World War I veteran. My departed father, a World War II disabled veteran who later succumbed to those injuries. My departed brother, a veteran of Vietnam. My two nephews, one serving in the Army and the other in the Navy, both served in Iraq and Afghanistan, respectively. This is a lineage I am proud of. This is a lineage I'm proud to take my place in. I'm even prouder to be able to stand here today with each of you, my brothers and sisters in combat. And speaking of pride, it is with the greatest of pride that I look out at each and every one of you. It is with great pleasure that I look at my darling wife and my triplet children, each casting their eyes toward me when they're not looking at their game stations. Gotcha. Each casting their eyes toward me with pride. That is the greatest gift I could ever imagine. That is a gift reserved for each and every one of our brave veterans. That is a reflection of the actions put forward by your heart and held steadfast by your honor. This mindset is so aptly reflected by Private First Class Diego Recon, who wrote into his mother from a post in Iraq. In his note, he stated, "Whether I make it or not, it is all part of the plan. It can't be changed, only completed. Mother will be the last word that I'll say. Your face will be the last picture that goes through my mind and through my eyes. I just hope that you are proud of what I am doing and that you have faith in my decisions. I will try hard not to give up. I just want to say I'm sorry for anything I've ever done wrong, Mom, and I'm doing it all for you. I love you." 19-year-old Diego never made it home from Iraq, but we honor him by honoring the request that he made to his mother to be proud of what he had done and have faith in his decisions. President Kennedy once said, "A nation reveals itself not only by its people it produces, but also by the people it honors." So on this most noble of days, please take a moment to close your eyes and remember those you knew who did not make it home. Remember the over 1 million brave souls who you did not know, who died without hesitation for you. Be grateful in this moment of silence. It was paid in full by every fallen soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and Coast Guardsman. If we may take a moment. Though this is Veterans Day, a day to remember all veterans, I would be remiss if I did not single out the 47,017 noble veterans to date that have been wounded in battle in Iraq and Afghanistan, or the millions from past wars. You have given far more than any riches offered, far more than any speeches have been spoken, and far more than any veteran who has returned safely can fathom. I will never relent in my gratitude to each and every one of you. From the depths of my soul, I thank you. The walking symbol of American patriotism, our beloved heroes. God bless the United States Air Force, Army, Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard. God bless our coalition partners and the budding governments beginning new lives thanks to our veterans in these faraway lands. God bless our elected officials. God bless the President of the United States. God bless this great town of Marion, and God bless